If you haven't played Bannerlord Multiplayer yet, you are missing out. Bannerlord offers one of the most realistic medieval multiplayer experiences out there. And thanks to a passionate modding community, the game keeps evolving with new modes, new events, and massive battles you won't find anywhere else. Today I will show you everything multiplayer has to offer, and by the end of this video you will know exactly which mode fits your playstyle. But first, a quick preview of what's waiting for you. Up to 120 players fight in a hack-and-slash chaos in the game mode Team Deathmatch. The same amount of players fight to defend or conquer castles in a more strategic game mode of Siege. You'll find the main PvP ladder with 6v6 round-based team fights in Skirmish. You're commanding AI troops like you might know from single player, but this time against other competitive players in Captain mode. And of course, massive organized clan battles with around 300 to 400 coordinated players on the same battlefield. Whatever style of fighting or battle you enjoy in Bannerlord, there is a specific multiplayer mode built exactly for it. And with skill expression at the heart of every duel, you'll meet players with thousands of hours and gradually become the experienced fighter yourself who recognizes new players stumbling just like you once did. Before we go through the modes, I'll tell you something that all modes kind of have in common, in a way at least, and that is going to be what characters you play. These characters are divided into cultures and respective classes, which you already know from single player. But other than in single player, you will not have a stronger character than your opponents by default. You will rather have to tactically choose a class from a culture depending on your favorite playstyle and available in-game gold. In multiplayer, every culture has a set of classes with different weapons, armor and perks. And they also cost different amounts of gold, and that is depending on the strength, of course. So you will have to choose what best fits you and your situation to come out on top. But now, let's jump into the game modes themselves. Number 1, Team Deathmatch. A fast, casual mode where you pick a class and jump straight into the fight. Up to 120 players fight divided up into 2 teams, trying to get the most kills. This game mode often still feels like a free-for-all, but it is great for practicing in a lot of fights in quick succession, fighting outnumbered, fighting with numbers advantage, and also keeping an overview in chaotic fights. It also gives you a chance to get familiar with the classes of different cultures, though you might find yourself fighting with low gold units in the beginning most of the time. But in the end, it is you spawn, fight, die, respawn. Simple and fun hack and slash chaos. Number 2, Siege. In Siege, you queue up just the same as in Team Deathmatch, but you will quickly realize that running at the defenders unorganized yields no reasonable results. In this game mode, attackers push through gates, towers and walls using siege weapons and breach the defenses. Defenders hold choke points, defend barricades and try to delay the advances. The objective for the attackers is to capture points to move deeper into the castle. Once a point is captured, the attackers unlock a new spawn position and they can start their advances from the new position. If the attackers capture and hold the stronghold's main point, they win the game. If the defenders can keep the attackers away from capture points long enough, they obviously win the game. The Siege game mode deserves its own full breakdown, and that's going to be in a separate video because there are so many different siege weapons and maps that we will have to cover that in a video where we have a little more time for it. So that is going to be in a later video. Number 3, Captain mode. If you love commanding armies in single player, this is the mode for you. Each player controls a squad of AI troops alongside their own hero. Troop numbers are balanced, weaker units get larger squads, elite units get fewer. Every player is responsible for their own detachment, and how well you position, flank or preserve your troops decides the match. If you fall in battle, you are able to take over another character from your detachment, making it possible to enjoy the big fights more and longer, and also have more impact versus the opposing AI troops. This game mode has a rank system, but it is very underrated and a little underplayed currently. Maybe we can change that, but it is a great mix of individual fighting skill and tactical troop movements. I enjoy the game and maybe you will too. Number 4, Skirmish. Skirmish is the core competitive mode in Bannerlord, which is your 6 versus 6 round-based PvP similar to Counter-Strike and Valorant. In Skirmish, you play, like I said, 6 versus 6. Your spawns are limited by the gold that you have. You start with 300 gold and your unit costs are somewhat around 100 to 200 gold. The stronger units cost more, the weaker units cost less, of course. And usually you're able to start with 1 strong and 1 weaker unit. Some cultures have the possibility for like 100 gold, the weakest unit, to spawn 3 times. But normally you play 2 spawns per round and you have to choose which spawn you want to use. The gold carries over though, so when you keep some gold in the first round, you might be able to play a stronger unit twice the next round. So you'll have to see how the cultures and the units play out in all of those rounds. There are 2 ways to win skirmish rounds. One possibility to win a skirmish round is obviously just eliminating the whole enemy team, which is both spawns of every player. The other way to win a skirmish round is by winning through morale. There are going to be 3 flags at the start which you can capture, and at those points, when you capture more flags than your enemy team, you will gain morale, and they will lose morale. Their morale will decrease. If their morale goes to 0, yours goes to 100, then you will win the game. After a short amount of time in the game, there are going to be 2 flags that despawn, and it's just 1 flag left remaining. This is the point where the fights are going to have to break out, so it is going to be a fight over morale or maybe elimination at that point. Now here's the fun part about competitive skirmishes. You can go into solo queue and just queue up by yourself, get random mates and try to win in solo queue by just being the best player in the game at all. You can also play organized teams in tournaments. There's the BNL, which is the Bannerlord Native League, which is an organized tournament, and you will play with your pre-made team against other pre-made teams to win. And this BNL is actually recognized by Tailwords themselves, so if you win the BNL, there are also some small prizes, in-game prizes, that are provided by Tailwords. There's also another way to play competitive skirmishes, and this is even sweatier than the normal matchmaking that Tailwords provides, and that is EU matchmaking community-based rank system. This matchmaking is provided by a clan called Deutschritter, and this matchmaking has the sweatiest and strongest fighters that you can imagine. So if you really want to push yourself to the highest limits of fighting skill, you might not just want to stay in the native matchmaking of Bannerlord. Maybe you want to switch over to EU matchmaking and get really sweaty and really strong in your fighting skills. So if you haven't already noticed, Skirmish is going to be the game mode where you really feel Bannerlord's mechanical depth. Since Skirmish is the core competitive mode, it has a lot of detail concerning class meta, depending on culture matchups, maps, and team compositions. If you are interested in more in-depth knowledge about Skirmish meta, stay up to date with my channel, as I'm planning a guide video for this game mode as we speak. Number 5. Battle events and clan battles. This is the Band of Brothers experience you have been waiting for. For this, you will have to find a clan that attends these community-organized battle events, but finding a clan is as easy as asking someone with a clan tag to join. And if you're interested in playing in a German clan that I'm part of, you can check out the Discord link in the video description. If you have always wanted massive battles and felt somewhat let down by all kinds of MMOs, then this is your chance. This opens your world to huge organized battles with 300 to 400 players divided into organized squads with individual but also cooperative calls and tactics. You take part as a piece of a larger formation in amazing big infantry shield walls, cavalry charges and archer lines. For many players, this is the most immersive and realistic mode for medieval battles in the entire game. And I have personally never found a more real medieval battle experience in any other game.
Links sind Erzherzog, die springen da rüber, wenn die uns pushen. Ja, links, die kommen wir links über das Geländer. Macht euch bereit. Wir brauchen einen Teil, der vorne aufpasst, aber auch welche, die hinten aufpassen, ja? Wartet, Jungs, noch nicht zu sehr engagen, die springen da gleich runter. Helft so ein bisschen, jetzt, ich spring runter! Holt sie euch!
Exekutiert sie!
Sehr gut. Die Hinterhältigkeit wird bestraft!
These kinds of field battles also have an organized tournament called BFL, which is the Bannerlord Field Battle League. And this BFL is played in smaller clan-organized teams of minimum 20 players. This league gives a great representation of the clan's overall performance, considering recruiting, training and player engagement. And now there are also some more possibilities that you can use, which are community-based servers. Number 1, DR Duel. This is your pure dueling practice server, which is the place you find the best fighters honing their craft to beat the next skirmish squad all by themselves. Also an honorable mention to DR, Deutschritter here, because if you recall, they are also the clan that organizes the EU matchmaking skirmishes for the sweaty fighters. So obviously they have a duel server to hone their craft, because if you're the sweaty fighter to be the best skirmisher out there, you probably also need a lot of training, and that is where you get it. DR Duel is the server for your practice. If you are a fan of MMORPGs, and you might be missing out on something in Bannerlord, then these servers might be interesting for you. There's persistent Bannerlord, persistent empires, and oftentimes a lot of different community-based RP servers. This is the place where you have your MMORPG style open world with player-based economy, proximity voice chat, politics and wars, and obviously everything you want to play in an RP setting. Just a quick note though, I was told that these servers are not very populated, and there are some moments where you feel griefed, because it is kind of like Rust, where you can be attacked while you're not online, and if you did not really make like an appointment with your enemies, then they might be surprising you, and it can feel a little griefy. But in most places, and especially the roleplay servers which are made by the community, which have a lot of good rules to make the roleplay work, then you will still be fine and have a lot of fun in an open world. And the last server I want to mention are modded captain mode servers, which you don't only have to play up to 12 players, 6 versus 6, but this actually allows you to have 24 players, 12 versus 12, with bigger retinue than you usually have in captain mode, and you play big sieges, which is on the server EU Battleground CaptainSiege. So if you search any of those words, you will find it in the list. And it is always open, almost always full, because it is a ton of fun. As you can see, Bannerlord Multiplayer is far from just a side mode. It's a deep, skill-based part of the game with something for every type of warrior. Whether you want chaotic battles, tactical teamwork, organized clan warfare, or a persistent medieval world. You will find it here. By the way, if you are interested in cosmetics in games, then this might be the place for you. The Armory provides some different possibilities for your different armor styles and also different taunts that you can buy with in-game currency. And if you have those, you can customize your characters just as you like, have the taunts you like, and have the armor that you want. Just a quick heads up though, these armor types are specifically used with each of these specific classes. So if you want a good looking archer, you'll have to buy all the archer stuff. The stuff for the recruits are going to be for the recruits and not for the archers, for example. And also there are going to be a lot of servers which have custom armory already, so that everyone is somewhat organized. In this case, these game modes are the possibilities where your customization is going to show. If you want more detailed guides on each mode, fighting guides for infantry, archers and cavalry, or beginner tutorials, subscribe and follow along. Let me know what you want to see. I'm going to provide a lot of guides in the following days. See you on the battlefield.